Welcome back friends, and this is new review on the Age of Wonders 4. I guess there is no point in explaining what the Age of Wonders series is all about. This project has a long to be both for old-timers and fans of tactical turn-based strategies, as it well established by a hybrid of all above. In this regard, Age of Wonders 4 has not changed much. You still stand for the certain faction and fight for DC one of the worlds. Officially, there are, as it were, two sides, the invaders that invade and the defenders. But not everything is so simple in reality. This is where new forces come into play, all sorts of faction modifiers, with which Stream Studios not only flavored the first part, but made them almost the cornerstone of the project, affecting a great many that give factions all new opportunities and penalties, which ultimately account makes each new game our own way, and its outcome is often simply unpredictable. It's not clear yet, but I will explain everything now. But first, a little general lore, without any special spoil. Above, the ancient wizard kings, hungry for new powers and knowledge, begin their expansion into forage, which they conquer peoples with a sword or a sword in C's hands. Players find themselves in the refuge of mages, a kind of interworld, and the abodes of the rulers of Godir, who are the wizard kings, and others are defenders of the walls. This is the Ascent Heroes. It works like this. Think of it as a hub, where each user has their own pantheon. It can be named, it grows, it gains experience for which players can buy various innovations for subsequent games in a rather impressive development tree. For example, at certain levels of the Pantheon, new types of worlds become available to players, such as the T-World inhabited by giants or the underground world of Abyssal Darkness. For example, if your hero is a druid by origin, then a staff of a druid will become available to him, which in access to a staff of poison with unique types of attacks, as well as the ability to drain strength from enemies, significantly weakens them. Do you understand the principle? Only the new one culture, and the hero behave differently in turn-based combat. And finally, you can add heroes to the pantheons that were created by players, unmade them by during the Camp of Tavern for the characters, from where they can be taken to the subsequent adventures. Here we remember specific character. The set of his abilities seemed interesting. You have the opportunity to play with Toki. We've been sitting too long in the Mage Refuge. Let's talk about the faction creation system and the gameplay at last. In addition, players can create their own worlds, which the developers strongly discourage beginners at presentation stage, and not just adjust the distances between cities, the number of factions of difficulty, climatic features, types of landscape and inhabitants. And all these will also add some depth to the game. Sort the way better. Here, led by the spirit of adventurism, the author, of course, did not have the advice of an eager devil and firm settled in a monastery built by himself. Well, how cool is this to be able to create a whole world? As a result, your humble servant was forced to frankly survive in a post-apocalyptic and arid universe in the darkness reigns and which is regularly based by the dragons. The idea seemed very exciting. In fact, it was possible to focus on development, and the faction of Fox, also imprudently created in this world, did not. With factions there is also a whole epic. For beginners, as many as 20 races and their rules have been dex generally balanced in properties.